If she had obeyed her father forever, if she had accepted the life that was chosen for her, one of Africa's greatest empires would simply never have existed. Because sometimes, empires aren't founded by kings. They're born from defiance. Her name was Queen Yennenga, a warrior princess whose courage didn't just change her own fate, it changed the entire history of West Africa. This is her incredible story. Yennenga was born into royalty, in the powerful kingdom of Dagomba, which is now modern-day Ghana. Her father, the king, was a formidable ruler, a man respected and feared in equal measure, who governed through strength and strict discipline. From a very young age, it was clear that Yennenga was different. She had no interest in the silks and ceremonies of the court. What she wanted were horses, weapons, and to train alongside the kingdom's finest soldiers. While other girls her age were taught the virtues of obedience and domestic life, Yennenga was learning archery, mastering horseback riding, and studying the complex art of battlefield tactics. It didn't take long for her to excel. Soon, she wasn't just a warrior. She was the finest warrior in her father's entire army. The name Yennenga became synonymous with victory. Her enemies learned to fear her on the battlefield, while her own soldiers deeply admired her skill and leadership. The kingdom celebrated her as a hero, a protector, a true lioness of Dagomba. But her own strength, the very thing that made her a legend, started to create a problem. Her father loved her, there was no doubt about that, but he also feared losing her. He saw her not just as a daughter, but as his most valuable military asset. And so, he refused to let her marry. He refused to let her leave his side. He refused to let her choose her own future. To the king, Yennenga was no longer a person. She was a weapon, an essential tool to protect his throne and expand his influence. And slowly, her glorious victories began to feel like the bars of a golden cage. Her life was no longer her own. Years passed, and Yennenga, now a grown woman, came to a painful and profound realization. She could conquer any enemy on the battlefield, but she was powerless to conquer her own fate. She was trapped, so she made a decision, a choice that would send shockwaves through the entire kingdom. She decided to run away. One moonless night, disguised as a man to avoid detection, Yennenga mounted her favorite stallion and rode into the vast, unknown wilderness. She left with no army at her back, no royal protection, just her own courage and her warrior's instinct to guide her. She rode for days, crossing dense forests and raging rivers, constantly looking over her shoulder, escaping the pursuit of her father's soldiers. Hunger, danger, and sheer exhaustion became her constant companions. But the promise of freedom, the chance to finally write her own story, pulled her forward with an unstoppable force. Eventually, exhausted but not broken, fate led her to the humble hut of a solitary elephant hunter named Riali. He was a man of the forest, wise and self-sufficient. When he looked at her, he didn't see a runaway princess. He saw a fellow warrior, someone who shared his strength and spirit. Between them, something beautiful began to grow. It wasn't a relationship built on power or status, but on mutual trust, deep respect, and eventually, a powerful love built on true equality. From their union, a child was born. They named him Outrago, which in their language meant stallion, a tribute to the magnificent horse that carried his mother to freedom. This child was destined for greatness. Meanwhile, back in the kingdom of Dagomba, Yennenga's father was consumed with rage and worry. But when he finally learned the truth of what had happened, that his daughter was safe, that she had found love, and that he was a grandfather, his rage slowly transformed into a profound realization. He finally understood the cage he had built around her. He understood his own fear. And in that moment of clarity, he forgave her. Yennenga did not return to her homeland as a disobedient prisoner. She returned as a founder, a matriarch. Her son Outrago grew into a charismatic and powerful leader, blessed with his mother's warrior spirit and his father's wisdom. He traveled to his grandfather's kingdom, bringing with him a new cavalry force, a gift that helped unite the people. He went on to bring together various tribes, establish new laws, and build the foundations of what would become the mighty Mossi Empire. This wasn't just any empire. The Mossi Empire was one of the most enduring and resilient in all of African history. It successfully resisted invasion from larger, more powerful states for centuries. It survived and thrived, creating a rich and unique culture that shaped the entire region, now known as Burkina Faso. The horse remains a national symbol, there to this day, a constant reminder of Yennenga's journey. And it all began with one woman's refusal to be controlled. One woman who said no to the life that was handed to her. Yennenga did not rule the empire herself as queen. She did something far greater. She created it. She birthed it. Through her courage, through her rebellion, through her choice. History often focuses on the conquerors, the kings who sit on golden thrones. But Africa remembers Yennenga differently. They remember her as the mother of the Mossi people, as a warrior, and most importantly, as a powerful symbol of freedom. She proved something that is truly timeless. Real power is not about obedience, it's about self-determination. Queen Yennenga didn't just change her own destiny, she founded a nation. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more about the forgotten heroes of history, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support is what helps us bring these incredible stories back to life. Thanks for watching.